Hello and welcome back to my car. It's the end of 2024, so you know what that means. We're gonna be going over the top albums of the year. I did a video last year, so I figured it would be just right to make another one. Instead of 20 this year, I decided to look at 2025. I got a little guest, his name's Pikachu. Anyway, yeah, so basically the deal is from 25 to 11, I'm gonna kind of go through them a little faster and then go a little bit more in depth on the top 10 and why they were so special. Yeah, so without further ado, let's just get into it.
Don't do it for you. Walked in and dream came true for you. Soft skin and not perfume for you. Yes, I know I'm melting.
Alright, at number 25, I have breakout pop star Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet. This album almost did not make the list. However, after re-listening to it the past couple of days, I felt it was only right for at least to have the first spot. Sabrina, she just brings the fun with this album. It's nothing too serious, nothing too crazy. It's got mega hits like Espresso and Please Please Please, which I'm sure all of you have heard because they're everywhere. But it's just fun. It's horny, it's fun. Yeah, that's pretty much the two words that I would use to describe it. She has some more introspective moments on songs like Dumb and Poetic, but yeah, I mean, if you haven't listened to it, do yourself a favor and listen to it. You may or may not like it. I don't know. I'm not you. But, hey, enjoy it.
I'm gonna hit your business if it's momentary business. I'm gonna hit your business if it's momentary business.
At number 24, I have Irish rock band Fontaines DC album Romance. Romance as an album is very, I don't want to say romantic. It is a rock album with some great songs such as Starburster and Favorite. It's just very cohesively nice to listen to. Yeah, I mean, not much to say about it. Those two songs are awesome. Here's the Thing is also a banger. Yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun music. That's kind of a theme throughout the list. It's just fun, and it just made me happy. At number 23, I have Frico's Where We've Been, Where We Go From Here. I used to pronounce the name as Frico, and then I found out that was wrong. So now I will pronounce it correctly. Yeah, once again, just another fun debut indie rock album with awesome songs like Chemical and the first song, Where We've Been. It's just a fun little album. A great debut, very excited from where they go from here.
Who's the baddest bitch in this club? I'm the baddest bitch in this club. Who's the baddest bitch in this club? I'm the baddest bitch in this club. Self-produced, they got no.
At number 22, I have hip-hop duo Joey Valence and Bray's No Hands. I think this album is, once again, very fun. If you're looking for some Beastie Boy vibes, some rap with a little bit of like sass, this is definitely for you. Yeah, I mean, not much to say. Again, it's just very fun, very upbeat, very in your face. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. As you can tell, I didn't prepare a script. It's kind of just off the top of my head. It's just a fun record. Yeah, so if you like that kind of thing, feel free to hop in.
Blood in the mud, we's raised and spent. Life on the run. No.
At number 21, I have Zach Bryan's The Great American Bar Scene. This album is very much a return to form for him, more like hometown country, with stellar songs such as 28 and Oak Island. It's kind of hard to go wrong. He's got some collaborators. I know Bruce Springsteen's on the album, for example. It's just a nice, country album to just drive some back roads and have in the background. It's really stellar music, his best offering for sure. Most cohesive, especially with you know, his first album, American Heartbreak, being over 2 hours long. That album felt like it had a lot of duds, but also a lot of really great tracks. With this, it feels more like he put the great tracks in one place. At number 20, I have MJ Linderman's Manning Fireworks, part of the band Wednesday. MJ has made his own solo music in the past. He continues to do so with this album. I've heard it be described as Faye Webster for men, which is kind of true, kind of not. It's a little less low-key, more indie rock mixed with country. Very nice guitar playing here. The song She's Leaving You is just absolutely generational. It's so great. He's got a lot of really great tunes on here and just kind of a knack for songwriting in a kind of sarcastic way. But it's nice. You know, he puts a lot of effort into it, and it's an enjoyable listen.
They wash over your shell, make yourself look pretty.
All right, moving on from the 20s, we have number 19, Tapir, the Pilgrim, their God, and the King of My Decrepit Mountain. That only took me 3 times to pronounce properly all of it. This album is a very nice indie folk debut from the UK band Tapir. They're pretty underground. It was very hard for me to even find this album to begin with, but I really did enjoy it. It just has a very nice kind of chamber sound. It's very down to earth. It's got a concept. It's just really pretty in a lot of spots. I had trouble pronouncing things all day. With songs such as Jimino Petey, great song. We also got Mountain Song at the end. I think that's right. That's really good. It's just very cohesively nice and very ethereal, very down to earth at the same time. It's just a really neat project, and I recommend it.
This is the end of every song that we sing.
At number 18, we have the return of The Cure with Songs of a Lost World. This album's very otherworldly in its production style. The guitar playing is great. Robert Smith's vocals are absolutely gorgeous on some of the tracks. The lead single and opening song alone is a perfect standout. It's just the band back to their form of who they are and what they've always been. I've heard the live version's even better. I haven't personally listened to it, but I do recommend it if you're into kind of this like gothic rock vein. It's just The Cure is back. That's pretty much my notes. It's really nice to listen to. I listened to it at work. It was great.
I feel good, get the fuck out my face. Look good, but she don't got no ties. I walk in, walk out with the size. Man, don't let me know what to play. Squabble up.
At number 17, All I Ever Wanted Was a Black Grand National with Kendrick Lamar's G&X. Very nice, very LA inspired, very just like West Coast inspired. Kendrick is showing his love to where he's from and just having a tribute album to that. The Drake Kendrick beef, that's part of this. I'm sure that's part of why he made this album to begin with, even though none of the diss tracks are on it. Standouts from the album: Squabble Up is great, Luther's great. Heart Part 6, also great. It's just full of really nice tunes to listen to, kind of get hype with. It's just, it's awesome.
Hey, black flag all on my mic. I've been known to spend a lot like Bob Barker, the price is right. Being broke, my kryptonite. Being rich, my superpowers.
At number 16, continuing with the hype rap train, we have Denzel Curry's King of the Mischievous South Volume 2. Pretty much similar stuff. He's tributing to his hometown, but that's not West Coast, it's Memphis, Tennessee, or at least the sound of it. I don't actually know where Denzel's from, but it's kind of that sound. It's very grimy, hip hop. He does a great job with songs like Black Flag Freestyle. Yeah, Hot One's also great. Yeah, it's just really fun and very hype in your face. He does a great job. Yeah. At number 15, I have The Smile with Wall of Eyes. Tom York and Johnny Greenwood of Radiohead fame come together with drummer Tom Skinner to create an album that is very post-rock inspired, also very Radiohead-esque. It was my album of the year when it first came out, but that was back in January. It's got fantastic cuts such as Read the Room and Teleharmonic. The lead single from the album, Bending Hectic, is something a lot of people enjoy. I think that track is also well done, but it was not my personal favorite. It's just a very gorgeous album in a lot of ways. Also very kind of, it puts you in a place, like, mentally, if that makes sense. You would just have to listen to it to really understand what I mean by that. But, yeah, it's, I recommend listening to it. Very fantastic album.
Crying tears of love in the light of morning dawn.
At number 14, I have Johnny Blue Skies, aka Sturgill Simpson's Passage du Désir. Sturgill creates this new persona for this album. It's very Sturgill Simpson-esque. I personally am not sure why he went with a new alias, but does not matter. The music is still great. Jupiter's Ferry, fantastic song. One for the Road is also fantastic. Sturgill is back in full force on this album, creating this perfectly nice country-esque album, country rock. It's just absolutely beautiful, and I listened to it at like 9 a.m. once, and like the sun had like just came out, and it was just so beautiful, and I like almost made me cry. So yeah, but I also just worked like a 12-hour shift before that, so I wasn't mentally all there, I guess. But yeah. At number 13, I have Oklahoman band Chat Pile with Cool World, one of the heaviest albums I've listened to all year. Very dystopian, yet very in your face and also brutal. It's gorgeous in that way. Not so much gorgeous as in, oh, this is so pretty. It's gorgeous in what it's trying to do. And it does it very well and succeeds, absolutely. Standout song, Mask, 100%. That song is banging. I also like Frownland. That song is also awesome. Definitely worth a listen if you want something in your face and very dystopian.
I do it a vengeance. Takes to spin heads out, shot with class, give me the tension. I do a lot for the mentions. I spaz in other dimensions. About to take it to another level.
At number 12, I have JPEG Mafia's I Lay My Life Down For You. This album shows just how well his production just keeps going, and he just does not stop as a musician. He's got great songs such as Don't Rely on Other Men and Sin Maido. Yeah, I think that's right. Great closer. Just great like production throughout the album. He goes off. His bars are great. His production's just otherworldly. Like, no one is really doing it like he is. When you listen to a JPEG Mafia song, no one's producing like him. No one is making as insane of beats as he is. It's truly quite crazy what he can do as a musician. And it's definitely worth a listen this year to check out. I still prefer Scaring the Hose over this, but still fantastic album.
Raiders got my brothers dying. Notice every car that's driving by. I think my neighbors want me dead. I got a cannon underneath the bed. Triple checking if I lock the door. I know every creek that's in the floor. Motherfucker, I'm.
At number 11, my last rap album of the list, I have Tyler the Creator's Chromacopia. Once again, Tyler is kind of in his introspective bag. It's kind of a mix of Igor and Call Me If You Get Lost all at the same time. He's got these moments that are really you know, like I said, introspective, like the Igor side, and then he's got more hype moments, like such as Thought I Was Dead, Ratata, which is kind of reminiscent of Call Me If You Get Lost. He kind of has that like distortion a little bit that was present throughout Igor, that's kind of also present throughout this album. Tyler goes a lot in depth with his personal life. It's not just about a relationship, it's not just about wanting to get away. This time he kind of talks about a lot of different things, and for some people that's probably the best thing about this album. I just think all the songs are really fun. I'm very excited to see him live next year. Moving on to the top 10, I have Godspeed You Black Emperor's no title as of 13th February 2024, 28,340 dead. Yes, I did have to write that down. Not to add humor to it, because this is a very sad album about the absolute horrors of the genocide that is happening in Palestine. Very, very brutal album as a political statement. There are no words spoken throughout it. It is just a instrumental rock masterpiece, dare I say. Actually, I wouldn't go that far. It's not a masterpiece. It's not a 10 out of 10. But still fantastic regardless. Very beautiful. Very emotional. Very kind of dystopian, also referring to the absolute conflict happening over there. Most of the songs are around 10 minutes long. They build very well. Godspeed continues to do what Godspeed's done since their inception, create beautifully mastered, very beautifully played post-rock. Yeah, they just keep going in full force, and it's just something they're forced to be reckoned with, especially on this album. And it was a standout record to hear this year. At number 9, we are getting the band back together with Vampire Weekend's Only God Was Above Us. Vampire Weekend is back in full force on this album. Very nice indie rock. It's kind of like mid-fi. That's what Anthony Fantano called it, and I low-key like that description, because it's not like crazy lo-fi, but it's not like the glossiest production you've ever heard either. It kind of lands somewhere in the middle. It's very nice. It's very like hopeful in a lot of ways. It's just jolly. Like every time I've listened to it, it's made me happy, even though the lyrics aren't necessarily happy. In a lot of ways, it's just like the sound of the album just makes me like want to like just get up and smile. I don't know how to describe that. It's just very fun in a lot of ways. It made me happy. It's very enjoyable. It's very yeah, it just put a smile on my face. It just made me very happy. I've listened to it a lot throughout the year, especially classical. That was one of my favorite songs this year, actually. So yeah, it's definitely worth a listen, and that's why it landed at number 9.
I feel like a fool, yeah, walking downhill with the dogs. You keep it cool, watching my fire ignite.
Number 8, we have Adrian Linker's Bright Future, an absolutely soul-crushing singer-songwriter album that is definitely recommended by me. It opens with one of the saddest songs she's ever written, Real House. I also, not to brag, heard the song live through Big Thief, and it was very, very sad. Yeah, she's of Big Thief fame, by the way, so that's why that makes sense. Yeah, it's so soul-crushing. With Real House, you've also got Sadness as a Gift. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. She's just such a good songwriter. Like every time you listen to one of her songs, she's just so poetic in the way that she writes. It's so beautiful, and she's got a voice that will either like make you want to cry your eyes out or like feel comforted. Like it's like a weird mix of kind of like how it is, because like you can listen to Evil, which is not evil but EVOL, like love spelled backwards, and she has like a really like eerie voice in that song, but then you listen to Sadness as a Gift and it's more like comforting, even though she sings the exact same way. It's kind of wild just how like the tone of the song shifts, and just with her voice, it's just an insane feat. She's such a good musician, and I so recommend listening to her music in general. But yeah, number 8, Adrian Linker, Bright Future.
Trailed by belongings, I crawl forward into a clearing dust. A huge fire going.
At number 7, we have another singer-songwriter album. We have Mount Erie's Night Palace. Very dense, very lo-fi, very in-your-face also, but very soul-crushing. Actually, on first listen, it made me cry on 3 separate occasions. Yeah, that's a crazy thing to admit, but it's just like so gorgeous, and his writing is just so beautiful throughout it, because it's like Phil in the past has written from a very sad perspective. You look at his album A Crow Looked at Me, when he wrote when his wife died. Obviously it's very sad as a result. Even with another one of his albums, The Glow Part 2, he's struggling with a lot of like mental health, like where are we, kind of these philosophical questions about life. This kind of continues on Night Palace, but he's kind of found more of a like resolution, especially with being a dad, realizing that, you know, not everything has to have answers, and kind of just, he's feeling content. And that was part of the reason why it was so emotionally rewarding to me, because, you know, it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to not understand a lot of things. It's okay. And Phil finally realizes that in this album, and it's just, yeah, it's worth the listen if you kind of are intrigued by that.
It's not fair, 'cause I know you like the back of my hands.
At number 6, we have Porter Robinson with Smile, an album that on first listen I did not think would land nearly as high on this list as it did, but throughout the year I depended on it more and more to really just kind of help me in the year. Going along with Mount Erie's album, it's okay to not be okay, and that's something Porter realizes on this album. It's probably the most introspective Porter has been yet. It's just a stunning record from start to finish. Porter realizes, like, you know, he's part of him is trying to look good so he doesn't feel bad on the inside on songs like Kitsune Maison. He realizes his inner depression and that it's not worth it to die yet on Russian Roulette. He realizes how much his fans make him, you know, happy on, you know, Everything to Me. He just, like, Year of the Cup too. He's just like trying to realize that, you know, it's okay. I'm okay. I do bad stuff sometimes, but so does everybody else. You know, we're okay. It's always gonna be okay. And it's just, once you learn that, it's a beautiful lesson. You know, life is hard, and Porter realizes that, and it realizes that, you know, it's not gonna be as hard. You know, things are hard, but it's not worth it to leave. You know, that's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous production from him. Gorgeous, like, EDM, pop, rock. It kind of mixes a bunch of styles. It feels very 2000s. Really catchy songs all around. Just a really great album, and I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, that's why it's number 6. At number 5, we have Louisville natives Knocked Loose with You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To, an album that clocks just under 30 minutes, but is absolutely in your face and brutal throughout the whole thing. Very, just aggressive, but also so fun, and just so, like, a lot, but in, like, the best way for a metal album to be. I really enjoyed it throughout my listening experience. I've listened to it many times over throughout the year. It's just so fun. So fun. Just utter fun. That's kind of like the main theme. It's either like fun or introspective is kind of the theme of my list this year. yeah, with songs such as Blinding Faith, Don't Reach For Me, Suffocate. It's just like a lot of the album deals with like religion and kind of like how he's like coping with, you know, having religion shoved down his throat as a kid and realizing that that's not something for him personally. And kind of his thoughts about that and like organized religion, all of that. It's just a fun record to listen to. I really enjoyed it. Definitely worth it if you're into like metalcore. Yeah, that was number 5.
Just how this thing ends. Hallelujah, woman, they got me confused with him. I get just.
At number 4, we have Father John Misty with Mahash Mashana. It is a really nice chamber pop singer-songwriter album. It blends a lot of styles. It's very grandiose with its production, especially on songs like Screamland and the title track Mahash Mashana, which is the first song and is 10 minutes long, which is a choice, but it works out really well when you look at this album as a whole. It's just really something special throughout it. All of the songs blend together in this beautiful format to create his just best work yet. You know, like I said, Screamland, it's very lush in its production. It's kind of like an oddball out because it's not really a rock song. It's more like something you would expect, like Imagine Dragons if they were good. Like it's more like that kind of style. Like it's very meant to fill an arena. Also, there's a bunch of ambulances passing by, so if you hear that, my apologies. But yeah, it's just really perfect. She Cleans Up is a banger. Very nice rock tune. Like I said, the opener, Mahash Mashana, is a great song. Josh Tillman and the Accidental Dose, very nice, like laid back song, and it builds up very nice to create kind of this eerie vibe. And then we also get, I guess, Time Just Makes Fool of Us All at the end, which is just a beautiful track. Yeah, it's just a really great album, and it's so worth the listen. So worth it. I recommend it to basically anybody who watches this video.
All the revolutionaries, all the jihadis too.
At number 3, I have Jordy Griep with The New Sound. Prior to his solo career, he was the lead singer of British post-rock band Black Midi. I guess more like post-punk than post-rock, but whatever. Black Midi has since went on hiatus, and George Griep has now become a solo musician with his album The New Sound. Very based off of Brazilian rock. He actually has a lot of Brazilian artists kind of in the background, musicians working on this album with him. It's very theatrical. He puts on like this really like theatrical voice throughout it, which kind of is him in general. He's a very eccentric person. It's just, he's such a good storyteller throughout the album. It's fun, it's upbeat, he's got great stories. It's kind of like creepy in a lot of ways. Like his stories are kind of creepy because they're based off like weird men. It's kind of like the theme. It's based off like weird men towards women, which I think is kind of like, there's a satirical version of that. Like that's why it's very satirical in that manner. But it's very fun, very enjoyable, definitely worth it. Holy Holy, great song, great song. Let's see here, Motorbike, it's great. The Magician, we finally get a studio version of that Black Midi track on here. Perfect. And the Closer is a cover, but it's just so good. It's just so good. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's just good. Like it's just good music, and that's why it's number 3.
I'm just living that life. Bondage, cult classic, but I still pop. I get money, you get mad because the back's shut. Yeah.
At number 2, we have the album that has taken the world by storm this year, Charli XCX's Brat. For a while, this was actually my album of the year, but it is no longer. it got dethroned by our number 1 pick, which I will talk about later. But Brat has so much merit to it that more than it ever really needed. Charlie goes absolutely crazy with both production and the lyrics on this thing. The production is just absolutely like, let's go to the club, let's go dance, let's just like party the whole night, which is, she just blows it out of the water. Her, A.G. Cook, other producers on this thing, she just nails it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. She just absolutely nails it throughout every single track. Something works. There's, I don't know, she like sold her soul to the devil or something, because it just works. Lyrically, it kind of, partying all night kind of destroys you. If you do that every day for your life, you just, like, it's just so hard. It takes such a physical toll on you, a mental toll on you, because you don't even recognize who you are besides the party. And that's a lot of this album, is trying to find the balance between the fun and also this introspective, what am I doing with my life? What is my purpose? Am I going to have a kid? Am I going to have a family? Like, what am I doing? Is the music career really working for me? Like, what is going on? But she's balancing all of that with kind of this, like, fun girl persona, like, let's go out, let's do cocaine, let's go dance, all of this stuff. But in reality, she doesn't know what she wants. She wants, like, a family, but she's kind of, like, hesitant because of her music and, like, doing all this fun stuff. But, like, is the fun stuff worth it? Does she want the family? Does she want the fun? It's like a mix of that, and that's why it's so good, is because it handles kind of this weird side that you don't really get the commentary of. You don't really get commentary of this balance, but Charlie XCX lands it right in the middle with Brat, and I think that's why it has stuck in the hearts of many people this year, which is why it landed at number 2. Absolutely fantastic. I'm sure you've heard some of the songs already, such as 360 and Apple, but deeper cuts such as So I, fantastic. Rewind's also great. Von Dutch is one of my most streamed songs of the year. Yeah, it's absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth the listen. And lastly, at number 1, we have Magdalena Bay's Imaginal Disc, Peep the Shirt. I've been hiding it this whole recording. It's just stellar. Absolutely stellar, front to back. They have loaded this thing with such fun, like, dance pop, but it is more than that. There's like prog rock, there's just like a bunch of different musical influences that Magdalena Bay clings on throughout this whole thing to just create this absolute masterpiece of an album. It starts with She Looked Like Me, which is a fantastic opener, but it goes to Killing Time, which is something that honestly, on first listen, I thought could be something Steely Dan made, just based on the instrumental. It's just so different than what I had expected in my mind. Then it transitions from that to Image, which is just a fantastic pop song with one of the most satisfying build-ups, chorus, just everything this year. Then it goes to Death and Romance, kind of this progressive song. It's like 6 minutes long with these really big piano hits, this explosive chorus. And then it just keeps going from there. You get Tunnel Vision, which is like basically a rock song. And then you get Love Is Everywhere, this kind of laid back, really fun song. Then you get Angel on a Satellite, this introspective, beautiful song. It's just so good. It's packed so neatly. Everything, like every flaw they could have picked out, they take out. Like, it's just like they just mix it all together so beautifully. It's just beautiful, like absolutely beautiful. Like, from the heavens is where this album came from. Like, they ate. I mean, like, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just something I'm very passionate about. Very, very fantastic album. Very, very much enjoy it a lot. Definitely worth the listen. It's just, all of my thoughts are just, it's just so good. It's just too good. It's just too good. Yeah, it's just so good. this was an insane year for music. This list was actually very hard to make. There were a lot of albums that I wanted to put on here. I didn't, because of constraints. I only did 25 because the video can only be so long. I don't want to be talking for an hour. I've basically been recording this for almost an hour. And, you know, I have a life. Sorry. And I have to edit this, and this is going to take forever. But, yeah. 2024 was a fantastic year for music. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic year. Very, very excited for 2025. Hopefully, as just a fraction of as good as 2024 was, it'll be fantastic. I said that wrong, but what I was trying to say is if it's a fraction of how good 2024 was, it'll be fantastic. There we go. Yep, it came out right that time. Yeah. Let me know what you guys thought. Why did I say that? I don't know. Just let me know what you guys thought about the list. Anything that really stood out that I missed. If I missed it, probably because I didn't listen to it. Yeah. If you got any recommendations for me, let me know. Yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys in the next year.